is Domble. I'm your child's third grade teacher. Welcome to our open house. Today I'm going to walk you through some slides that give you a peek into our school day and the third grade curriculum, and then the different ways that I'm going to try to help keep you engaged and updated on what's happening in the classroom. So here's a peek at our classroom. A little bit spacier than the normal classroom every other year, but nonetheless, it's wonderful to be able to work every day face-to-face with your children. Ways that you can contact me. The best way is probably through email. I'm usually very good about getting back to you by the end of the day, as long as I'm in school. You can reach me at cdomble@southingtonschools.org. Other ways that you could reach me is you can call the front office and leave me a message, and I will get back to you during one of my planning times or at the end of the day. You may also write a little note in your child's planner saying that a time that works for you that you'd like me to give you a call back. Classroom routines. We still have classroom jobs. There's a teacher's helper, a line leader, and then a cleanup crew. I think the cleanup crew is good because it helps to promote some responsibility in taking care of our things and maintaining them throughout the year. We have class points. In the past, I would have used table points, but we do not have tables, so we decided that we were going to do it as a class. We could earn these points together. And once they earn a certain amount of points and accumulate them, they can turn them in for these different rewards that you see on the right-hand side here. So some of the ways that they would earn a point in the classroom would be if they were cooperating well with the partnership, working well as a team, trying hard when they're trying to get through a problem or a task that I have assigned to them, doing something kind or thoughtful. If there comes a day when they actually make a PJ day or electronics day, I will make sure that you get an email from me first so you know what's happening in the classroom before it occurs. A daily routine, so you could take a peek here. This is how our routine goes in the morning. We start with our morning meeting. And that's an opportunity for us to greet each other and start our day off on a good positive note. Then we go to math, special. EI is emotional intelligence, and I'll get to that in a couple of slides ahead. Reading, we have spelling and cursive. Yes, we have cursive this year. Lunch, recess, read aloud, writing, and science and social studies. Science and social studies don't occur simultaneously. We rotate between doing science or social studies, and then dismissal. So in the classroom, I like to make sure that I promote movement in the classroom. In the past, I would have encouraged them to find a quiet spot to be able to read. Due to COVID and being able to social distance, it's not as feasible. But I've tried to make sure that they still have the opportunities to spread out and have that chance to move to a quiet spot. Sometimes when they're working at their desk and they need to be able to stand and move, I have no problem if they're at their desk working and standing while I'm in the middle of the lesson, as long as they are on task and doing what they need to be doing. I make sure that we have movement breaks throughout the day because myself, I would not like to stay in an area or in that desk all day long. It wouldn't be conducive for for me to learn. So I keep that in mind with them also and try to keep them engaged and moving around. Other ways I like to promote moving in the classroom is through partnerships. It's good for them to be able to work cooperatively. It gives them a chance to practice their own skills, but it also gives them an opportunity so that they can teach their peers. And sometimes hearing it from a peer, they get that aha moment or that light bulb where they're able to interact with each other that they might not have gotten when I was working with them. We have mask breaks. We have 2 throughout the day. We have one in the morning during our snack time, and then we have one in the afternoon. I usually do a mini lesson for writing, and then after that we go outside and they finish writing in their writing journals. Our mask breaks take place at the same place for morning and afternoon, and that's in the morning outside of Flanders to the right side of the building. Our class charter, you can think of this as the rules for the classroom. So as a group, we talked about how we would want to feel in the classroom, and then we discussed the way that we could promote feeling that way in the classroom. So the things that we would have to physically do so that we could feel that way in the classroom. And then after we came up with that together, we decided that we were going to hold each other accountable. And if somebody broke our contract or our class charter, they were going to have to reflect and take a break, natural consequence to their action of what was happening, or, if they couldn't follow through with it. We made it official by making sure everybody signed off. And now we get into emotional intelligence and the mood meter. So emotional intelligence it refers to the ability for somebody to be able to identify and manage the way they're feeling, and also identify the way somebody else is feeling and their emotions of others. We use the Yale's ruler model, and ruler stands for recognize, understand, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating. So if they're new to you, again, I've attached a video right there that you can take a peek at. And Mark Brackett, who has rolled out the Yale's ruler model, it can give you a little bit more update. But we've talked about it quite a bit and have had lessons in there. And we talked about the way that we can change our feelings. And it's amazing when you have them come together and they start talking about different ways that they work through when they're feeling upset or frustrated, and how they want to change from feeling that way and to get themselves into a better spot. So one of the ways that they do that we've talked about that is we came up with different ideas and we made a list so that if we needed to, we could reflect on that list. And that's what these are right here, ways to how we are going to change our feeling. You can take a minute and just look through some of the different ways that they decided that would be good opportunities. And it's strategies that students use themselves and offered for other students to be able to try. Homework policy. Your child will have homework Monday through Thursday. The district recommends that they have 20 minutes of reading and then 20 minutes of something else. I always make sure that they have 20 minutes of reading. They'll have to respond to a question, and then usually it'll rotate between a math activity or spelling activity. Occasionally there may be a assignment that I assign a project over a longer period of time, and that would be the only time they would have homework on the weekends. I do not assign homework on the weekends, but I do encourage them to make sure that they are reading for fun on the weekends. It is your child's responsibility for homework, and they are in 3rd grade now. So I am a stickler on this. I do offer up 3 homeworks. They can miss 3 homeworks. The 3rd time you will get an email from me, and then I will have them probably after that 3rd time, I will have them sit with me during lunchtime. They'll eat in the classroom and work through their homework. Assignment books. So assignment books are new to 3rd graders, but it's a great way for them to build some organizational skills. I make sure that they write their homework in it daily. Even though it may not say word for word, I'm okay with that because it is in the Google Classroom, but we talk about it and discuss it, and they're getting in the habit of making sure that they keep track of important things that are in there. Please make sure you check it daily. There may be a note that needs to go in there. Also, it's a place that you can communicate if you have questions for me. Keeping parents updated. Some of the different ways that I'm going to keep parents updated. I'm trying it new this year. I really like the S'mores newsletters that Mrs. Garrett sends out, and I have made sure that I jumped on that boat. So when we have special activities that are occurring, if I'm recording them or if we have a celebration, that'll be my way of being able to make sure that you get to participate in it by doing it like I did with the book buzzes. I'm going to try really hard to make sure that every other week I'm trying to update you on some of the things that are happening in the classroom so you can stay in the loop. Other ways that I might respond is other ways I might keep you up to date are maybe through an email that's really quick, or a monthly newsletter that gives you the update of what's going to happen throughout the whole month. Grade 3 curriculum. Okay, here we go. We're in the meat of it all. So math. We are using Ready Math for our curriculum. Right now we are working on, we just finished working on place value and rounding numbers. So being able to identify if you have 75, round it to the nearest 10, and I want them to be able to know that 75 falls between 70 and 80, and then figuring out which one is closer to it. We go ahead and we round it into the hundreds, and we even did the thousands. Using addition and subtraction for 2 and 3 digits. The regrouping, I'm noticing is tending to still be a little bit tricky for a lot of them. Collecting and analyzing data is being able to read graphs and answer questions with them. We'll also create our own graphs and create our own questions, so it helps to push that higher level thinking. Working with time, so being able to tell time, knowing it from being able to say it in 3 different ways: quarter past, half past, quarter till, and understanding what the time is by saying it that way. Length, perimeter, area, and volume. So that would be our geometry that we're working on in there. Being able to add the outsides and also find the area of the inside, which they kind of do a little bit when we start doing our multiplication and division. Capacity and weight, understanding fractions, and then multiplying and dividing. And I would say multiplying and dividing is the biggest chunk of 3rd grade, so it's really, really important that you make sure that your children are practicing their multiplication facts. They need to get those facts down to help them be able to divide, especially when they get into 4th grade. Reader's Workshop, building a reader's life. So that's basically working on reading skills and learning how to be a good reader using strategies to help you as you're reading to connect with your book and make it more exciting. And those are the things that we've been working on recently. Not reading like a curmudgeon, doing a book buzz, getting excited, using sticky notes, stopping and jotting. That's all part of the building a reader's life. And then we're also going to be working in book clubs where you walk in a character's shoes. That'll be exciting for them. That'll be the 2nd time that they work together in book clubs. So they'll be working in smaller groups where they discuss and talk about books. But that's building on learning some inferencing skills. Navigating nonfiction, book clubs, mystery unit, nonfiction research, and biographies. The mystery unit is another big one, and that kind of helps tie in with the characters and the inferencing piece. Writer's Workshop, building writing life or personal narratives. That's what we're working on right now currently. 3rd grade is a big step when it comes to writing. So you expect them to come in writing a small paragraph, right? Some of them can write a full page. But now, by the time they're leaving 3rd grade, I'm expecting paragraphs. And I'm a bit of a stickler. I like a beginning, I like a middle, I like an end. So I really end up having them I like to push them to have at least 5 paragraphs and putting as much on the page as they can. Making sure they're writing informational books, baby literary essays, expert writing or research, and adapting and writing fairy tales. We end with that. They always love that one. Essays they basically are trying to argue their point. So if it's a fiction piece, the character is selfish. These are the reasons why the character is selfish, and this is how I know. That kind of thing. So it's more giving an opinion when they're working with the baby literary essays. So that's why those two will come close to each other. The argumentative and the baby literary essays will come right after each other. Important that when they're writing at home, I'm not so much worried about their spelling right now still, even though they do have word walls in their writing folders that I encourage them to use in transition words. Biggest thing that they could do at home right now is get them in the habit of rereading what it is that they wrote and seeing if it makes sense to them. Making sure they have capitals, making sure they have periods. Spelling. We do sit in spelling. So we have word work and grammar. Also working on the editing and revising, so noticing it when you're reading other authors or books that we read in class. I try to point that out because that will help them to become good writers themselves. And vocabulary. A little bit different. So in the past it was phonics. They were really working on phonics, and now we're going to see them start become stronger spellers. I do give a spelling test each week. And so basically I look at the grammar or the rule and we focus it that way. Science, properties of matter, forces of nature, inheritance, and variations of traits. All these are really neat because they're very hands-on, so it's a little bit of an update from units that we've had in the past dealing with science. But they're very hands-on and interactive with a lot of experiments. Social studies, dealing with map skills, being able to identify a compass rose, the key, the legends, scales, learning the 7 continents. All of that is what we're going to start working on just coming into this month. And then from there, we'll go to Connecticut and then learning the Northeast, being able to identify the Northeast. Here's our Google Classroom. So if you haven't had a chance to go on there, your child does have all of their passwords in their planner to be able to log on to Google Classroom. There's my Google link, and this is what it looks like when you get on there. There's a thing that I'm going to be updating on one of their pages, so you know, and I will let you know as soon as I do it, because it's harder to be able to work with them one-on-one in the classroom with the social distancing and being in small groups. One of the things I've thought of trying to do this year was my extensions of reading page. So this is like that same s'more that I sent to you guys, but this is going to be individualized for each student. So it would be, the students page would look like this. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it might have some activities that are focusing on building a specific skill for each student that I've put in there for them if I'm not able to work with them. So it's building their skills individually and independently, specific to them. Home and school, very important. Please contact me. You have questions. You need to know what's going on in the classroom. Don't hesitate. I am here. We are a team. Especially after all the confusion and the crazy year we had last year and coming into this year, it's important that we work together as a team. And I am here, and I promise you that I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that your child is on third grade and working at the third grade level. Please, if you have any questions or comments after this, don't be afraid to reach out and ask me. I'm here. As I said, I will usually get back to you by the end of the day. Thank you, and I hope to talk to you soon.